Any area code where I be, you ain't gaming right if you don't click and keep my bitch phone up, and she like the sweet. With 2 and 5 and 973, I'm good at any area code where I be, you ain't gaming right if you don't click and keep my bitch phone up, and she like the sweet.
Okay, so I wake up in Philly, homie out in Guatemala, other homie in the prison, man, it's all about $1. Hit my homie in Chicago, or my man in Nicaragua, take a trip out to Jamaica, or you get them bitches holla. I'm okay out in LA, cause I can speak that guala guala, go to Florida for a day. Hit New York for about an hour, catch me out in Wilmington, or in Northwood, Kawakaball, DC, Baltimore, it's all about $1. I get tickets everywhere, so in VA I need a driver. Got my shorty out in Camden, cook lasagna with ricotta. Got LaFana out in Detroit, I would die in Carolina. You know grinding is the point, but it's not about designer. I'm styling on the joint. The Chronicles of a Prophet. I need something out of Texas. Hey, YAHANNA, I know we got it. Yo, let's get this shit on film. Sabala want get the camera. Let me make one call to Kapasha on Indiana.
2 and 5 and 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps my bitch phone up, and she like the sweet. 2 and 5 and 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps my bitch phone up, and she like the sweet. My bitch phone and keep her mouth closed. Let she talk to me, she don't like to speak. She wear modest clothes and ain't bother with hoes, plus she ride the dick till it fall asleep. You online talking like you're harming me, but in person fabricating harmony. Like Shalom, Yasharal, Yehuda, Aki, I'd have respect if you tried to. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for brotherhood, and it's mainly cause on my brother's hood. But if it's all bad, don't pretend we good, cause if you write your will, then I wish you would. I don't ask for beef, but I am seasoned, nigga.
Whoa, why you tripping?
You need a reason, nigga.
You really love that Bible.
Live and breathe it, nigga.
Look, you cool, but he gay.
I wanna meet them, nigga.
Yeah.
2 and 5 and 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps my bitch phone up, and she like the sweet. 2 and 5 and 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps my bitch phone up, and she like the sweet.
Crazy. I don't want to put attitude.
Who's that peeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that peeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. They keep it real when niggas, man, most of y'all frauds. Leave like you frauds. Y'all pussy niggas gon' ride for your dog. Right at your man, I put the dagger right in his heart. I'm playing my part, definitely I'm playing it smart. And if I don't get you, then I'm coming for your brother then, or his mother then. It's kinda crazy revenge selling in. Rape, sold, and murdered the natives when they was selling in. Coming in, out of the water that they was fishing in. I was raised in hell, it got dark when I was peddling. White man harassing the block when we was peddling. White man who also was the plug when we was peddling. I would never fraud if I was on David Letterman. This is UPK, ain't no Chopper Shabazz. When the Christ come back, I'm gonna ride on your ass. Got the Johnny Walker in me, and I'm all in my bag. I'm on my Friday the 13th with the gun and the mask. Ah! Who's that peeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that peeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Hey yo, the car and nacho, fucking doing crazy like they destined on the flock though. Righteous on the block though. The beat I catch a ride, but I always miss my stop though. Beefing with my shorty till I stuck it in the taco. Who's that creeping through my window? I ain't with the complications, I'ma keep it simple. Burn all black Dickie to the Timbo. You gon' find exactly what you looking for in limbo. We gon' get it in though. Experience I live from 2036. I see my brother when it's been done. Every day I think about the trouble that I slid from. That's why I call the white man the devil, cause he is one. That's not a motherfucker, I think we should just forgive. That act right, gave a nigga reason to live. Give you extra if you take it back or you renege. See him creeping no Newport, I squeeze the sig.
In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said He would send plagues upon the earth before He frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Shalom.
All right, Shalom Israel. My name is Officer Kayad, one out of I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K. started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K. is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Barakatam to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Ailatan Ba'asham Yahweh to my sisters. All right, so, you know what I mean? The class topic for today is, you know what I mean? Salvation is for the Jews, blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians, which are the real Israelites. You understand? Don't make nobody fool, you know. That oppressor over there in Israel right now is not no Jew. You understand? You can't imagine, you know what I mean? King David, the mightiest warrior. You understand? To ever walk the face of the earth, being one of them, you know what I mean, puny, scrawny looking Edomites. You understand? That just doesn't make sense. You understand? Can you imagine Samson, the strongest man to ever walk the face of the earth, to be one of those, you know what I mean, puny Edomites over there in Israel? That is impossible. You understand? The real Jews are the people who are the strongest on the face on the earth. You understand? Which are the people here in Jamaica, the black people here in Jamaica, the black people over there in the United States, the Hispanic brothers, the Mexican brothers, the Brazilian brothers, you understand? The Trinidadian brothers, which have been the strongest people on the face of the earth. You understand? But because of our, you know what I mean, disobedient to the Most High, we are on the bottom. You know what I mean? We are the greatest people on the face of the earth, you know. But we're disobedient, and that's the problem. All right, so what me I gonna do until my brother Abadawan comes in, you know what I mean, and kick off the class topic, which shall be, you know what I mean, an interesting class topic. You understand? Which we know about the earthquake in Haiti, you know what I mean, where many casualties were reported. You understand? The 7.2 magnitude earthquake, you understand? Which, you know what I mean, these natural disasters, you know what I mean, have been a reoccurrence when it come to, 80. You understand? And we know the reason for that. You understand? Your Christian pastor go tell you, say, I through them work too much voodoo over there, and that is nonsense. You understand? We know it's because, they are the children of Israel, and the Most High is calling them back. You understand? Same way the Most High is calling us back over here with the crime and violence you see taking place. And which, if you don't mind, sharp, many more, that might escalate on a larger scale. If you can pay attention to what is going on. You understand? So we are the children of Israel, and that is the reason why that happened. All right, but we are going on a small topic about, heaven and hell, because we know, say, the Christian pastor teacher that, when you die, you go to heaven or hell, depends upon how righteous you have lived on the face of this earth. But in actuality, the children of Israel is experiencing hell right now. You understand? Hell is the condition that we're in right now here in Jamaica. You want to see hell? Just walk and look in every garrison, and you will see hell. You understand? You see upon the way, we treat each other, the death and the destruction, the poverty, the hopelessness that you see in the eyes of our people. That is hell. You understand? And we burn back in this hell over and over again. That is hell. The Christian pastor think that, you have to die to go to hell. We are living hell right now. And this is the oppressor's heaven. You understand? Where they tell us that we have to die to go to heaven. In other words, don't expect no, joy and happiness in this life. You understand? No sort of salvation until you die. Basically telling you to go to hell, to die, just die. Which we know, we get Christianity from the oppressor. So is we have saying, just die. You understand? When you have a pest and a problem, and them say, them a plead for justice, and you say, boy, wish the whole of would have just dead here, man. So him just give you Christianity and say, yeah, man, you know want heaven, want a better life, you have to die. You understand? Basically saying, yeah, man, just die. You understand? But anyway, I will jump to the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10. And this is what it says. Thy kingdom come. This is the Lord's prayer, right? Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven, right? So the most thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. You understand? So, no look for go to heaven, because heaven will be done here on earth. The Christian pastor teacher that, when you die, you will fly and go to heaven. No, but the most high promise heaven here on earth. So where can you expect heaven to be? Nowhere else but here on earth. So when your Christian pastor tell you that when you die, your soul float off to heaven, that is foolishness. And you go there and live for eternity. He's just selling you a fairy tale so he can collect your money. You understand? You know how miserable your life is, So, Him have no, no solution to you and your problem. So him tell you, say, one day you're going to die and you're going to live in joy and happiness for eternity. In the meanwhile, please give me your money. You understand? Give me your tithes money, your offering, and them things that help build up the church and buy me a new car and pay me rent and all of them things. You see? That is what your pastor do. You understand? It's a con man, it's a 3-card man. You understand? Continuing. Give us this there slack here. All right, let me jump to a different scripture. This is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Listen, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Right? Remember, your Christian pastor tell you, say, when you're dead, you go to hell and you go burn forever and ever and ever and ever. After you're dead, remember, when you're dead, your body don't go to hell, it's your soul. But the scripture tell you, say, your soul and your body are going to get destroyed in hell. So what is hell? Which part your soul and your body exist simultaneously? Or, to explain it better, where does your body and your soul exist at the same time? Not after you're dead. When you're dead, only your soul exists, your body decays. But when you're alive here on earth, you understand? Your soul and your body coexist together. You understand? So, in other words, hell is here on earth. Hell is not no place where you die and go to. You understand? All right, the next scripture is Revelations 5 and 10. And this is what it says. And has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. You understand? This is prophecy, you know, of what is to come, what is to be expected, you know. You understand? We are going to reign on the earth. We're not going to reign up there in heaven. You understand? So what your Christian pastor tell you? Say you expect, say one day you're going to float off into the clouds and you're going to live happily ever after. You know what I mean? That does sound like one of the fairy tale them we know about. You understand? That is not facts. We will rule here on earth as kings and priests, like the scripture said. You understand? Because this is all about power. This is not no joke or no fairy tale. Heaven is here on earth. It just depends on who control the earth. See the Taliban over there overthrow, you know what I mean, the Afghan government, right? No, they are in heaven. That is rulership. You understand? The Taliban taking power of Afghanistan is heaven for them. You understand? But the heaven we here in the I.S.U.P.K and a commanding general, YAHANNA, is expected is to rule this entire planet. That is heaven. We shall reign as kings and priests. You understand? Here on this earth. So don't look to float off somewhere into space. This, you know what I mean? This planet is our heaven. Right now, the oppressor is living is heaven because he's in charge. He's ruling. But you know what I mean? Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. So, you know what I mean? We know that we are Jacob. We are the children of Israel. Our kingdom come next. You understand? All right. The next scripture is Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 16 and 17. And this is what it says. Verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. You know what I mean? Remember, say a Christian pastor tell you, say, you know what I mean, you die and then you get, you know what I mean, judge and go to hell, right? But the scripture is telling that under the sun, which we know what is under the sun, the earth, right? I saw under the sun the place of judgment. So judgment is here under the sun, on the earth, right? That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Verse 17, I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there, which is the place under the sun, that is the there, you know what I mean? Salakia, for every purpose and for every work. So there is a time for judgment for every works. You understand? Under the sun, here on earth. So your judgment is here on earth. You understand? Tell a Christian pastor to stop teach your lies. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, it is time. You know what I mean? It has passed the time for you to come out of that Christian church. You know what I mean? You are the ones now making excuse to save your Christian pastor because he has no answers. You know what I mean? All the information that the I.S.U.P.K brings out, your Christian pastor wouldn't dare to address. You understand? So now when we speak to you in the street, you have to be freestyling to defend Christianity. You know what I mean? In many cases, you know what I mean, detached in yourself from Christianity to defend Christianity. You understand? But it's high time now to come to the I.S.U.P.K and learn. Because we know we are the home of the truth. We are the only place on this earth that you learn the Bible accurately. There's nowhere else. Your Christian pastor is irrelevant. You know what I mean? And oh, you know this? Them never warn you about the coronavirus coming. So you know they weren't the prophets of God. But commanding General YAHANNA and the I.S.U.P.K has been telling you that there will be plagues. And World War III is coming up next. You know what I mean? How much you know I'm bet? Say that I come. You understand? All right, the next scripture I'm going to pull is Revelations 21. Jump back to Revelations 21 and 2. And this is what it says. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride or adorned for her husband. So the New Jerusalem is coming down from God out of heaven to where? The earth. You understand? Heaven is here on earth. Christ will rule on earth. This is heaven. It just depends on who is in power. You understand? Who is in power rules. You understand? And he is in heaven. Simple as that. You understand? The next scripture and the last scripture is, you know what I mean, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 22. And it says, for a fire is kindled in mine anger. You know what I mean? So when the Most High get angry, you know what I mean? It is like a fire burning. Continue reading. And shall burn unto the lowest hell. So is fire burn unto the lowest hell, and a Christian will see this and say, see, fire is there in hell, but them not have understanding. You see? Continue reading. And shall consume the earth. So hold on. So if it a burn to the lowest hell and a consume the earth same time, where is hell? Where is hell? No more span earth, man. Continue reading. And shall consume the earth with her increase and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. You understand? The scripture is manifold. So these mountains are symbolic and both literal. So the mountains are talking about literal and figurative mountains. So where do you find mountains? Here on earth, right? So you tell me say mountain there in some place, some other dimension called hell. You understand? And this mountain is really talking about the governments of this earth, you know. You understand? But we are governments on earth. You understand? So that just show you that hell is on earth, heaven is on earth. It just depends on the condition that you're in. You understand? And with that, I turn the class over to Priest and Officer Abadawa.
Shalom.
Shalom, sir. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatam. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatam to the brothers. Yahweh Shammah Alatan Basham Yahshua to the sisters. Welcome to our Sunday evening scripture breakdown again. Officer Abadawan here. Now, what they're talking about, heaven and hell. Heaven right here on earth.
God.
And hell is somewhere else. That's how it is, you know. When people live in good, they say, oh, I'm in heaven.
God.
But when bad luck catch them, is where here, they say, boy, I'm in hell. You generally hear they say, boy, I'm salty, man.
God.
Boy, I get F.
Right.
But yeah, that's your hell. Now, the Asians, right now, they are in hell.
Right.
From that earthquake which the Lord sent on them.
God.
The Talibans, yeah, they are in heaven.
God.
Right? The Talibans, tell us something. You see this move, you see America make. No, there's no country on the face of the earth right now we can run America out of one country.
God.
If that is going to happen, then bomb them from now till not even tomorrow, but till yesterday.
God.
Meaning that put them back in, you send you back in time to how much you can bomb on you. So if that is the case, what is really happening in Afghanistan?
God.
This is it. Prepare for a major war in this world. Can't say you never hear it, you know. Our generals have been telling you this long time, you know. Prepare for a major war in this world. You see, America come out of Afghanistan, they are preparing for a major war.
God.
That war seemed to be between Israel and the Iranians. So America know that they will have to go and back Israel if Israel attack Iran, because Iran have a bigger army than Israel.
God.
Than the Israeli. So what America is doing? Minimizing his resource. Plus, his economy basically in a little recession from COVID. both economies, Israel, America.
Okay.
But a major war is coming. And that's what America is preparing for. If you remember, just before COVID, and we know what was happening. Remember them drop a Hellfire missile on Soleimani, the Iranian general.
Cancer.
And there were some other moves that they made because they realized that they were going, this virus, there was a virus out there that was going to put them in a shutdown, in a lockdown. So they prepare out there that when they have to come home in a lockdown, nobody not out there giving trouble. So they never want Soleimani to be running around. So they kill him. Now Israel is making a talk that regardless of what the world says, Iran will not be allowed to have any nuclear power whatsoever. And there's only one way you can stop that. It means you're going to invade Iran. So that is going to escalate into some kind of big conflict. Iran is the closest ally to Russia. That's Russia's closest ally. Israel is one of America's ally. They say America is their the UK is their closest ally. But in a way, it seems like it is Israel is their closest ally because they more do what Israel says than what the UK says. All right, that's it on that what is happening. So the Taliban take over Kabul now. So that means the Taliban totally have Afghanistan. Yeah, and the president who was elected by the people, after he makes so much big talk, him just lap him tail, just like how America lap him tail and run. He run out the city before the Taliban even come in. Taliban are all up in the, what you call it? All up in the presidential palace. But anyway, enough of them. Back to our brother Haiti. That one right now is our concern. Our brother is in turmoil. The Haitians, are they our brother? They are the tribe of Levi. They were shook by an earthquake. You have the copy of that?
Yes, sir.
All right, we don't.
Mes amis, en direct, pendant ma fête sport comme ça, heureusement pour moi, côté moi, il n'y a pas tombé. Mais gros tremblement de terre qui peut être passé au Kaila. Pour que c'était calme, pour ça, moi, c'est équivalent de 12 janvier. Merci, bon Dieu, que ça va tomber. Moi, ça me fait, je courir, mal comme le vent qui est écrasé, parce que je ne vais pas écraser, il va toujours. Mais, il y a du, donc moi-même, moi bien, même bon, on a rien encore.
Vous photo à le téléphone mandam. Téléphone mandam, pas quand tu as le téléphone.
Oh, bonjour, je vous le téléphone.
Ça me fait comprendre pas que téléphone, même si ça me fait
ça veut dire fait passer la zamine qu'à la grâce, même.
Ok. Donc, Kai ça tombe net. Nous avons la Kai ça tombe net. Ok. Kai ça tombe net. Ça là. Ok, ça soit rapidement. Ok, Kai ça va pour rater. Ok. Président. Hey.
Slack here, sir. The connection was a little bit.
All right, I think that we can stop it there.
God.
Point taken. This earthquake was felt even in the sea, and it caused a tsunami where the sea came in on the land. It didn't seem as terrible as Japan still, but the earthquake did a lot of damage on land. Shake down a lot of buildings. So far, they said 300 people died. Remember, I don't know if it is 10 years yet since the last earthquake that crippled probably about 3/4 of their government. Shake down the facilities, kill people and so on, displace people and all that. But, all right, give me Hebrew 12.
Another one can. Another one can. This is Slakia. Start at verse 1.
Book of Hebrews 12, start at verse 6.
Another one can.
Right, just 6.
This is the book of Hebrews.
Hold on.
Another one can.
All right, well, let's go 6 to 8.
Another one can. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
All right, so look for the word chastenet, and scourgeth.
God.
What does it mean by chasten?
Another one can. Discipline, punish.
Discipline and punish.
God.
All right, what does scourgeth mean?
Another one can. Another one can. A whip using as a slakia. A whip used as an instrument of punishment.
All right. So scourgeth means a whip that is used as an instrument of punishment.
God.
So who the Lord loveth, he disciplines and whip every son whom he receive, right?
God.
Now, when you read from Exodus, Leviticus, all right, we can start from the time of Judges then. Even before that, but time of Judges. Each time that the 12 tribes, the nation of the Israelites, disobeys the Most High, they get punished.
Right.
How are we normally punished?
We're normally punished through, you know what I mean? Through war, like enemies come upon us and through plagues and you know what I mean?
We get defeat in war, and when we get defeat in war, we end up in slavery.
God.
We become tributaries.
Right.
Right. If you remember in the time of Christ, when it was tax time, and the disciples said to Christ, how comes we have to pay tax to them people? And the Most High say, who does the king, like when I say, who does the king charge tax? Who does the king, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And they say, others. And they say, okay, well, the children are free. We can't find that one, you know.
Canada
All
one.
right. After we read this, we find that one.
Canada one can.
Scripture.
Can't. Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Canada one can. Verse 7. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with us with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
All right. So if you endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. So we in the Americas are USA, Judah endured the chastening of the slavery. We in the West Indies we endure the chastening of slavery. Even though you have the Maroons who some break off, but the majority of us endure the chastening.
God.
And then you have the Asians who cut their chastening very short. So the Most High find other ways to chasten them. Use natural disasters. They get hit almost every hurricane season. Earthquakes, famine. They are on the same piece of land with the tribe of Simeon, which is the Dominican Republic.
God.
And for some reason, Dominican Republic on that side of the island does not get the same whipping and thing as the Asians.
Right.
Yeah. The Dominicans endure their chastening too. They speak Spanish, which means that they were controlled by who? The Spaniards are the Spanish, are Spain.
God.
Haiti speak partial French, we call the Haitian Creole, which is a break off from the French language.
God.
You know, they fought off the French, and I mean, everybody would have wanted to beat off the oppressor, of course. But just as it says here, if you endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? So in other words, you have your son and your son get rude and you beat him. And then he want to lick your back or he want to run away or something. You're going to deal with him like something else. But if you take your scourging and him sit down and him say, yes, daddy, I'm going to listen. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. You deal with him like a son. When him cool off now, you buy him one ice cream or something and, you know, make him feel nice again. So, Haitians going through their scourging here. Verse 8.
Canada one can. Verse 8. But if ye be without chastenment, whereof all are partaker, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Right. So the Most High is dealing with Haiti as bastards. But, you know, even though they are being dealt with as bastards, they still will be ingrafted. They're going to learn at some point. Imagine you poor, you can't find food. You have to be eating, what they call it, mud cakes.
God.
You can't find food, you can't find clothes, you can't find proper shelter. And then one day the earthquake just come shake down where you're living and the sea come in at you at the same time.
God.
Putting you at the mercy of other nations. When Japan experienced the tsunami, the Japanese government was able to manage their affair and rebuild their country.
God.
The Asians now is at the mercy of the other nations. Because guess what? Not even we who are Israelites and know that we are Israelites and know that they are Israelites can't help him.
God.
Right? And the only way, I mean, we the UPK, we can't help enough if we can garner the support, the financial support from our people. Yeah. then we can go down in there and help our people. Get the land. Many of us are construction giants in I.S.U.P.K. We can go down there and we can rebuild. We can lay out a town if you want. For
And
those who believe in the Lord, yes.
And they can also donate if they want help 80. Donate to I.S.U.P.K and a command in general, YAHANNA, non-perishable items and clothing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We have foot on the ground in 80.
That's what we're talking about. We I.S.U.P.K can help in that way. So if we get the money, we have construction giants within the UPK can go down there go build.
Right.
In a city if you want. Lay it out, put in your foundation, your infrastructure, sewer, rainwater drainage, the works. Be your city if you want. It's just the finance we wouldn't want behind that. Enough skills is within the UPK. You know, just need the finance. Just the finance with that. If we go on the finance, you know, Jamaica is behind that 100%. You wouldn't go down there. Yes. You don't need to be afraid of them talk about no voodoo or nothing. If you're afraid of them voodoo, we go down there with a susumba tree and we eat susumba when you're down there. You're afraid of you eat susumba. Right? So, nothing to fear. You're going to build your people. And guess what? This is the right time, you know.
Right.
Just like when you come in the UPK, the most I tear you down to put you in the UPK. Right time for us to get an 80. Just a little language barrier. We know Officer Yatazar is right there ready to help. You know, I missed a couple of the Asian language class, but you see, no, but I knew this time was coming, which was why I was attending that Asian class. But, you know, fast track. You have to fast track some things and go in and help 80. Just like what the general says, we all get on that salvation ship, salvation chariot, or none get on that salvation chariot. So we all go, or none go. That's the way it is. And that's why Christ had said it. All right, let's find that story we was talking about there.
Another one can.
Which one was it again?
Matthew 17. Matthew 17 and 26.
Matthew chapter 17.
Starting at 25.
Hold on. Let me see if it's that the one I want.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Then are the children free? Yes.
Another one can. This is the book of Matthew chapter 17 verse 25.
No, and at 25 it started, you know. Started at 24.
Another one can. This is the book of Matthew chapter 17 and verse 24. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, does not your master pay tribute? Verse 25. Verse 25. He said, yes. And when he was come into the house, YAHANNA, which is Jesus, prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers?
All right.
Verse 20.
So this is now, and he said, right, money came, when they were come to Capernaum, that received tribute money came to Peter and said, does not your master pay tribute? Tribute here is tax. So this is one where the Most High punish you. This is the whiplash, the whip. And you know, as they say, chase not to in love. So maybe you're not so severe, you haven't done such severe disobedience for him to send you back in slavery. But, you know, it might make you become tributary to another nation. For instance, we know in Jamaica, we are tributary to whoever it is that control IMF, World Bank, and those international lending agencies. Right. We know America have about a 60% talk in those organizations. All right, so I'm saying, yes, and when he was come into the house, Jesus prevented him, saying, what do you think, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? So the kings of the earth, who them tax? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter said, strangers then tax, man. And Jesus said unto him, then are the children free. So in other words, you know this in America, the rich, them say the rich don't pay tax. So the rich is the children of the system in America. That's why you say America is what the word they use again? Capitalist system. And the rich don't pay taxes in capitalism. So who pay taxes? The little poor man. Steve Jobs didn't pay any tax, you know. Steve Jobs live off Microsoft. You know what was Steve Jobs' salary for the year on the books? $100. Way below whatever it was the tax tribute. The tax threshold. But Steve Jobs live off the company. His house, everything, credit card, everything control is the company pay for it. And the government can't tax that. Right? Just like in Jamaica here. You have a business, the government put tax on it. What you do as the business owner? Pass it on to the consumer. What else you can do? But you, the consumer now, when the government put tax on you, what do? You have to pay it.
You have to pay it.
You have no one to pass it on to. Right? So this is what it is. This is how the Most High chastening is one of the system of chastening. So this is how we tell you that the other nations, their time is coming. They are going to be chastened by Christ, one way or another. Some by war, some by becoming tributaries. Take me to John 4:22.
Another one can. Another one can. This is the book of John, chapter 4 and verse 22. He worship, he know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Salvation is of the Jews. We don't know what you are worshiping this world, you know. To be calling Haiti the poorest country in the world, while they have resources which other countries pulling out. A lot of companies, you have even Jamaican companies over there making millions of dollars. So if they are so poor, how comes these businesses are making so much money? That's what I wonder. You have this country has been, it's just like in the Congo region, you know. Remember the Congolese, whatever nation they are, maybe they are Hamites, maybe you have a lot of Israelites down there, because there are Israelites in every country. But when you look at the Congolese people, they're poor, you know. But who is pulling out the wealth of Congo? Other nations. Copper, in its natural form, every single mineral that you require for production in the West, they find it in the Congo. Silicon, Lord have mercy. Cell phones, sitting there, come from down there too. But what is the people getting from it? Jamaica, bauxite. What are we, the people, getting from it? The beaches, so many hotels and things. What is the trickle down from the tourism? You get me? I can tell you of the days when the tourists used to walk in the streets, and it was no more violent then than now. Tourists could have walked the street, go to the jellyman, buy him thing. Now they tell the tourist man, because they put the jellyman in the all-inclusive, you know, and tell the tourists, stay in the all-inclusive. There's no fence. You know, like we have this wall that the America built between them and Mexico. There is no wall or fence between where the crime is and where the tourist is. And when I say wall or fence, I'm talking about a visible wall that you can look and say, you have to pass through this checkpoint and it's where police and soldiers there. But in the tourist areas, you are able to walk free. Why? And you are telling the tourists, don't go over this side, you know. And there's no police or soldiers to stop any of these so-called gunmen from going where the tourists are.
Right, sir. God.
If you go on the beach, you see maybe 1 or 2 uniformed cops on the beach. Right? They're giving these tourists this false sense. Crime is in Jamaica, crime is in America too. Chicago, when you look at the crime statistics of America, if that was what was being portrayed of America, you wouldn't want to go. It's terrible. Yeah. But what they do now, they flip it on Jamaica, flip it on Trinidad, flip it on Haiti, and say, they portray your evil parts. Right? It's like a woman so beautiful, and every day you look, you see her, all you see is her backside, you don't see her face. Maybe her ass don't look so good. You're going to get turned off. Right?
Right.
So all they're doing is exposing our secret parts, which is the crime and violence, the internal squabbles that we have. But you know, our international media house said something to our local media house a couple of years ago. I don't remember which one it was. The international media house said, you can say what you want to say, but remember, we don't send anybody in Jamaica to gather the news. We take it from what you yourself report. So you want this to stop showing abroad, stop showing it. But really and truly, it has to be shown locally. Right? Because we that are locals need to know what's really happening. Why you think you need to come into my country and pick out the bats and broadcast that abroad, expose that abroad? But bit by bit, just as he said, Esau's secret parts also will be exposed. It will be exposed. One just get exposed the other day. When you see the black people and come up and say, I forgive him. Yeah, it's them pay them off to say that. And sign the agreement, which they can never, ever for the rest of their life say, you know, say I pay them if you say that. They cannot say that. So we never know. If this gentleman did not turn down the offer, of which they went back and charged him, and I hope the Most High is with him, through Christ, get him off that charge. Because that was how we now know that when you hear these people like this other one, and really and truly still, we were saying, this boy don't like him, brother. Remember the one who went in the Jake's house, the female cop, and shoot him in his own house. She believed that she was in her own apartment. Right? And at the trial, the brother came and hugged her up. And the judge came and it was all a show. Part of some agreement. And all the girl get is what? Something like 2 years, 3 years, the cop. And then zip. It was all paid for. That's part of their secret parts. So what they are doing from ever since is exposing our secret parts. This poverty in Haiti that they're showing, they're not showing the wealth in Haiti. In Jamaica, when they show Jamaica, they show the ghetto. They ever show Mandeville?
Yeah.
Maybe if they show Mandeville, they were going to put more tax power and say, you know, so I'll stop giving aid. 1 out of the 2. They never show Mandeville. They never show certain areas in Kingston. And guess what? It's black people live there, you know. Right?
God.
And not to mention, the same Clarendon here. You have rich part in Clarendon, and just across the road over there, so you have the poor part. You have the mayor and the Custos and the MP live on this side. There's no barrier, and every night shot fire on this side, and these men not crossing go over there. So the only thing cross and go over where the goat herders. The goat herders then come across the road and feed the goats up in that rich area. pick the grass and thing, right?
God.
But the gunshot not going that way. So something is terribly wrong. And it's just a matter of time before the secret parts are being exposed.
God.
Right? But in the same time that Haiti is going through their turmoil, we know that it is the Most High that is chastening the Asians. Because who say an earthquake? They're going to tell about what they call it, say the white man have a what kind of machine? Art machine.
God.
That is damn rubbish. It's the Most High doing this thing.
Right.
Just like the coronavirus, they want to tell you that the white man let it go. Maybe the white man was playing around with it in a lab, but the Most High caused it to leak out.
God.
All right, so salvation is of the Jews, and the Jews are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of this time. The Asians are the tribe of thing there. But why is Haiti in the turmoil like that? Give me Genesis 49.
Canada one can. Canada one can. I'm still lucky, sir. Which verse?
Read 1 and 2.
Canada one can. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49 and 1. And Jacob called on his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Verse 2.
Right.
Salakia.
Continue.
Canada one can. Verse 2. Gather yourselves together and hear, O ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
All right, so Jacob called his sons while he was in his Jacob was in his ending days, you know, and him basically on him dying bed. He called his 12 sons and said, gather your sons, gather my sons, that you might hear what is to befall you in these last days. In the last days to come, I should say. And we are in the last days. Right. The ones he blesses 12 sons. As a matter of fact, this was like telling you that in the last days, the same thing that you were blessed for, is it going to become the thing to befall you, basically? So he spoke unto Levi. Let's hear what he said about Levi. Drop down to 5 to 7.
Another one can. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instrument of cruelty are in their habitations.
Instruments of cruelty. Right now, the Asians have what? Voodoo. And Simeon have one next one. One have voodoo and one have something else. So basically, it's what them over. Either Santa Maria.
Not sure, sir. I think one of the Hispanics them have that. I don't know if I
Well,
Mexican
guess what? It was them over, man.
God.
Those are the instruments of cruelty that it's talking about. Verse 6.
Canada one can. Verse 6. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, and to their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
All right, so this is talking about the time when their daughter was forced into a sexual relationship with a prince of a particular city or country, and they trick them and kill every man in the city. All right. So it says, come not thou into their secret, because at that time, Simeon and Levi told them was tight. And they told them agree to do this evil without saying anything else to any one of the other brothers. That's Simeon and Levi. They grew up tight, the two brothers, right? And they slew a man, verse 7.
Another one, verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
All right. So cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. So, you know, anyway you take it, curse is Levi. It says Simeon and Levi, but at the same time, they are on the same land, same island.
God.
And half of this island is just experiencing pure ill will, while the next half is experiencing like heaven. You don't hear anything about Dominican Republic. And matter of fact, they don't like the Asians, you know. They don't like them. Right? Because this is how the father Jacob said he was going to do it. Divide them in Jacob and scatter them abroad. And they were scattered, in a sense, scatter them in Israel. Because, all right, when the kingdom split, Simeon was a northern king, became a northern kingdom tribe, while Levi split in two. Some were northern kingdom, some were southern kingdom.
God.
So both Simeon and Levi, but Levi more so get scattered amongst all Israel. So Asians are among Benjamites. Asians are among, and I don't mean coming from the Isle of Haiti, but from the time of the Bible days, they were among all tribes. Yeah. Now, when you look at what is happening with Haiti, and you check their history, I mean, they gain independence from slavery for so long, yet they just can't prosper in building their economy. What happened the other day? Just the other day, they killed their leader. They assassinated their leader. And what caused that? The nation which they fought off, they went back to them for help, to assist them in setting up their government. Yeah. And then that nation now, who is the white man, became a snake unto them. So they have the most coups on the face of the earth. This whoever it is that take over, you know, maybe just about a couple of years from now, if so long before you hear that they kill him too, you know.
Right.
They just keep doing this. But it's the curses. All right. Give me Genesis 3rd. Should I better go to that story? All right, we're going to the story of Dinah when the sister got troubled by the thing there. All right, well, Genesis 34, 1. We're going to skip through that.
Another one can. We say start at 1 and skip along.
No, man, me tell you skip. Start at, let me say, 34.
Can, sir.
Yeah, read 1, 2. 1 to 7.
Another one can. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 34, verse 1. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her.
All right. So you see where this happened? Right in the same land that we were given, you know, because the Hivites were right there, ain't it? Now, Dinah was the daughter of Jacob, the daughter that he had with Leah. So it was the only daughter that Jacob had. So the Evite now take her and this African take her and lay with her and defile her. Meaning that one, she wasn't to marry outside of the Hebrew. That's one. And two, he didn't go and ask the father for her. And just see her and like her and force himself on her. That's basically rape.
Right.
That's rape. Basically rape her. He forced her. Verse 3.
Another one can, verse 3. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. Verse 4. And Shechem spake unto his father Amar, saying, get me this damsel to wife.
5.
Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. Verse 6. And the father of Shechem went out unto Jacob to commune with him.
All right,
and the sons of Jacob.
Down to 9.
Another one can, verse 9. And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughter unto us, and take our daughter unto you.
Right, so they were telling Jacob, come on and come intermarry with us, the Evites.
Right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
12, skip down to 12.
Another one can, verse 12. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as he shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
Right. So basically, then come on and tell him, say, we like her, intermarry with us. Make your sons come marry our daughters, and our daughters come marry our sons. Because Jacob was a rich man, and he had 12 sons. He had power. So, but they're trying to negotiate now because the king knew that his son, who was a prince, did something wrong. All right, drop down to 13.
Right. Another one can, verse 13. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Amor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. Verse 14. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. Verse 15. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised.
All right, drop down
Verse
to
16.
17.
17. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter and we will be gone.
All right.
Verse
Give
8.
me, hold on, give me now, 18, read 18.
Another one can. And their words please Amar, and Shechem Amar's son. Verse 19. And the young man deferred not to.
Hold on. Give me 20.
Another one can. Verse 20. And Amar and Shechem, his son, came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, Verse 21. These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters.
All right, drop down to 23.
Another one can. Verse 23. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us.
So basically, this is what the king and the prince go and tell the men of the city now, and say, yeah man, look marry to them, man, and say, everything when they have will become free, you see, this is how the other nations always go and deal with me.
Right.
So in other words, they don't think that is we gonna gain anything from them. If they're going to take what we have. Right? Give me 25.
Another one can. Verse 25. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword and came upon the city boldly and slew all the males.
So when the king and the prince went to the men, they agree and say, okay, we're going to circumcise and be like them, because if this is what it takes for us to gain what they have, then yeah, let's go ahead, no? But little did they know that Levi and Simeon have a little plan, because Levi and Simeon know that when them get that circumcision, the 3 days after, them can't hardly walk. Can't kill them. So on the third day, they were sore. And Simeon and Levi, that is who are today the Haitians and Dominican Republicans, they took the sword and they went in and killed everything, every man of that city. Slew all the men. All right, verse 26.
Another one can. Verse 26. And they slew Amr and Chechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out.
Right. So then kill all the king and the prince who defiled Dinah, and the other sons who the king have, and take out them daughter out of them house. Take out them sister, I should say, out of the king's house, or out of the son's house, whichever. And they slew and spoiled the city. 27.
Another one can. Verse 27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister.
Right. So the other ones now just went in and just spoiled the city. Means that they just take the things that the city had, the gold, the silver, all those things. Just take what is there. They kill them off to take what they have. That's one of the rules of war. There is spoils in the rule of war. In war. That's why the Americans love fight war. So if they come to Jamaica and invade Jamaica, what do you think they're going to do? Just kill out some people and go back home? No, sir. But the only difference now with that is that the resources that we have, they already own them. They have the bauxite. The largest bauxite company out here is owned by them. The Americans, they have a lot of the hotels out here. What else? A lot of the minings and other minings and things take place out here, the minerals and things, they own it. Okay. So what they're coming to do? Make war with yourself, basically.
Right.
Our economy already paying tribute to them. What they're coming to war for? Anybody who will make war would be us. But in this case, our brothers went in that city and they took the spoil of the city. Verse 30.
Another one can. Verse 30.
29.
Another one can. Verse 29. And all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives took their captive and spoiled even all that was in the house.
Right. So you see what they do? Kill the man, them, take your wife and put them captives. So the wife and picking them become slaves unto us. This was when we were militant, and when the world did not have any leagues of nation or United Nation, where the nation were come in and defend the one who you beat up unlawfully I understand. Things different now. Verse 30.
Another one can, verse 30. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink amongst the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I be few in number. They shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house.
31.
Verse 31, and they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?
All right. So Jacob now said, this thing what you do, the other nation, the other Levites, the other Canaanites, them nations come in against me and gather themselves together and slay me and kill the whole of them too. Right? And they answer and say, what should we do? Should we allow him to deal with our sister like she's a harlot, like she's a whore?
God.
So this was how tight we were as a people. And when I say tight, I mean in terms of what was right and what was wrong. What they did in the eyes of Jacob was wrong, but it was wrong to take a woman just like that without the father's consent and say you're going to sleep with her. That is the behavior of an harlot.
God.
So they were saying, so they must deal with my sister like she a harlot. No, you pay the price, you die. That's what they were saying. All right. Now, whether they're right or wrong, I won't even get into that. But this was what Jacob was telling them that would cause their befall in the last days. Because if Simeon and Levi could unite, then Levi, the Asians, if they could unite with the Dominicans, they wouldn't be so poor. That's the reality. They wouldn't be so poor. They would be able to get help. They can go over into Simeon for jobs. I understand as near as they be there. If they even go over there, they're not getting no work, nothing. And that is set by our father, Jacob. All right, drop me now to Exodus 32 and 25. Still looking at why they are getting so much punishment by the Most High. We say Exodus.
32.
Exodus 32, reading from verse 25.
Another one can. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 32, verse 25. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them.
Yeah, finish that part. For Aaron.
For Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies.
All right. So this was a time again when the people became naked. Who else was naked in the Bible? Adam and Eve. And what the church tell you? That they were without clothes.
Right.
And here, I'm sure when I was in the church, I hear that when Moses been gone and people were there reveling, they were reveling naked. But that's not what the nakedness means. The nakedness means that you're not following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord.
God.
You have been stripped up from that because that is our culture. So basically, right now, our people is naked, which is why so much of our secret parts being exposed to the mother nation.
God.
The internal, if a man and his wife in a little squabble and one stab the other, it's noised abroad. Those are domestic issues, right?
God.
So
Salakia, and if a Rasta girl get ear, and if a Rasta girl ear get cut, it gone on BBC and every news. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
God.
Those are domestic issues.
Right.
Because we are naked as a nation, meaning that we're not following the law, statutes, and commandment.
God.
Our culture, the laws, statutes, and commandments of the of God, of the Most High, for us, the Israelites, that is our spiritual garment.
God.
Without that, we are spiritually naked. Not physically. You have on clothes, but spiritually, you are naked. You are not like the other nations. Right? Them not following the law, statutes, and commandments, but it doesn't matter because you are the child. You in my house. I don't care what the next child out there want to do. Not my responsibility. That's their parents' responsibility. You are my responsibility. Same thing with the Most High, Yahweh. Right? You, the Israelites, is who he cares about. So that's why I'm chastise you when you go astray. Then other nation go astray. So it is astray than no matter. I'm trying to raise you the right way. And in the end,
God.
you will be correcting them other nations. Right? So this is what it said that when Moses saw that the people were naked, they were not physically naked. Spiritually, they were naked. They were not following the what Moses had taught them so far. They're gone off doing things of the other nation. Play music, worshiping other God, build the Baal and bow themselves. And Israel, behold your God that led you out of Egypt, which was a golden calf. That's like a slap in the face of the Most High.
Right.
Right? And the Most High was so angry that he wanted to kill all of us right there in the wilderness. And he said, don't worry, Moses, I'm going to kill them and raise up unto you some righteous people. Yeah, we would have been called Mosesites, but then Moses reasoned with the Moses and show him that if you do this thing, the other nations, them are going to say that because you couldn't fulfill the promise you were to fulfill to the people. That's why you carry them in the wilderness, go kill them. You carry them in the bush, go kill them.
God.
All right, next verse.
Another one, verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him.
So this was why the Levites became priests unto the Most High. They make a stand for the Most High. When Moses draw the line in the sand and say, who is on the Lord's side? Come over here so to me. All the Levites went over. And all the other nations, all the other tribes stayed there. They're in limbo, wondering if they should be on the Lord's side or whatever. But Levites made a stand for the Most High right there in the wilderness. Read on.
Another one, Verse 27. And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from the gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor.
So in other words now, the ones who went after Baal, the Levites were given the order to go kill them out. Right? Not to imprison them, to go and kill them out. 28.
Another one, verse 28. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
So they went through all the camp, all the houses. Who is on the Lord's side? Man, me blah, 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 boof. you get slayed. The one who agree and say, yes, I'm on the Lord's side, you are spared. They did that in that day. So the tribe of Levi became obedient unto the Most High's voice. And they made a stand for the Most High. So they were chosen to be the first priests to minister unto us. Deuteronomy 10.
Canada one can.
Verse 8 and 9.
Canada one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 8. And that time the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, for the Lord to minister unto him and to bless in his name unto this day. Verse 9. Wherefore Levi has no part nor inheritance with his brethren. The Lord is his inheritance according as the Lord thy God promised him.
Right. So the Most High, because of the stance that they took on that day, the Most High separated them from the rest of the other tribes and gave that 10% that you would show, what we call it, tithes and offering, whatever you say, I'm going to give this to the Lord, it will go to the Levites. Because really and truly, the God don't want nothing from you. Where you give? What can you give God to make him happy?
Right.
Only your heart and your obedience. And that is intangible. What thing can you work for and present it to God and make him happy? Nothing. Gold, and he make it. If he had delighted in gold, he would have made a solid gold earth. Right? Understand me? So whatever we had and we gave it, we said, this is for the Lord. It went to the Levites. So they were the ones who benefited from, and it made them rich. Right? It made them rich. And when you read in the New Testament, you can see that. We read all of that. Luke 10. All right, we're going down to Luke 10 now, because by the time we went down, this is in the Old Testament, and there are times, so many times in the Old Testament where everybody slip up, even the priests. But coming down into the New Testament, the tribe of Levi was so in the red. They slip up so bad that Christ put a parable on them, a parable about them. The Good Samaritan. You make up your face, you didn't know that. All right, let's go to the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan, that parable of, and it, the whole thing about Levi. Everything about it isn't just Levi. Luke 10, 25 to 37.
Canada one can. This is the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain liar stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
All right, so the term liar, where the term liar come from?
It comes from the word, the Hebrew word lawa, which means, you know what I mean, leave it. So, God.
They are born liar. Son of Levi. So Levi in ancient Hebrew is liar. Yeah. So today you hear the Asians who are in the truth, they call themselves born liar.
God.
Officer Yatazar, who is now was taken into upon him to go back to minister back to his people, is Yatazar born liar. Right?
God.
So this liar stood up, a Levite. And it asks a question. A certain lawyer stood up and tempted Christ, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? So he was tempting Christ because he understood the laws. And the Levites were the guardian of the laws.
God.
Right? Now, if you remember when Christ was 12, he was reasoning with who? With some lawyers and things. They were Levites.
God.
Because the Levites at the time of Christ, they were slipping up, telling people all kind of things. When Christ talked about the scribes, Pharisees, and so it mainly Levites who had divided themselves in the temple. Some believing in reincarnation, and some don't believe in reincarnation. So they were kind of, rather than leading the people, ministering to the people unto God, they were leading the people astray.
Yeah.
All right, 26 says,
Another one, verse 26. He said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou?
All right, so Christ now didn't give him an answer. So he said, so what is in the law? How you read the law? And his answer was?
Verse 27. And he answered and said, answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself.
So he really understood the law, but he was tempting Christ. Right? But at the same time, they were not showing this love to their neighbor as the laws said they should be doing. So the Levites are the one who should be understanding this. Verse 28.
Another one, verse 28. And he said unto him, thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
Right. So Christ said, then you know, answer right, man. If you do this, you will live. 29.
Another one, verse 29. But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, are you our child? And who is my neighbor?
All right. So this is now the man who now come and tell him, no, the Israelite who know the right, you know, but he come and say, so who is my neighbor? Because I live side of a white man, you know, and they know me and he move good. So yeah, try to tell me, say, I know my neighbor that. I live beside an Indian man, I live beside a Chinese man, I live beside an Arab, live beside an African. Just like how we Benjamites here in Jamaica, we love the Africans even more than our own Benjamite brother. We speak more of the Africans, calling ourselves Africans. We are not Africans, right? We are not Hamites. We are Shemite, right? Our father Jacob came through the lineage of Shem. The Hamites came through the lineage of Ham, two different nations, right? It's one race basically on the earth. The white man call it race, call us different races, but it's really and truly it's different nations. That's what the Bible deals with. So we Israelite is a different nation from the African. You notice your name look all the same. But as soon as Jamaicans start to, you'll probably get the chance to go amongst Africans. You're going to realize that these people don't even smell like you.
God.
Yeah, man. That's how we love our perfume and to smell up nice and thing. Nah, I know them that.
God.
And you'll get the shock of your life. And I wish all Jamaicans who say they're African could really get the chance to take a walk into Africa and smell that. But you see, their mind is going to be so blocked that maybe they don't even smell the stench. Right? These people were so stink when we were living amongst them in Egypt that it took us 40 years in the wilderness to get off that stench, both physically and spiritually. They are spiritually and physically stink.
Right.
Physically, you walk beside them, you smell them. Spiritually, they don't worship nothing like Yahweh, like Yahweh the Creator.
God.
They have voodoo and all kind of thing. They are stinking every way you can take it. Right?
Right.
This lawyer, band lawyer, was just like that, asking Christ, who is my neighbor? When Christ asked him what the law said, and he hit the nail right on the head, love God and love your brother. which is your Bible say your neighbor. Now he's going to say, so who is my neighbor? Right? He wasn't playing the devil's advocate. He was being a devil because he wanted to get his people to love other people rather than love their own. Love yourself first. Right? There is nowhere in the Bible where it tells us, don't love yourself before you love other people. Nothing tells us that. It tells us, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is the same love you love yourself. Show that love to other people. Right? That's what it is telling you. Next verse.
Another one can. Verse 30. And Yahushua answered and said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead.
Right.
Verse 31. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side.
Right. So there came down a certain priests. Who among us in the time of Christ were priests?
The Levites.
The Levites.
God.
So here now he's telling you, but not all Levites were priests, but all priests were Levites. You get me?
Right.
So in other words, the priests, those who serve as priests, were taken from the tribe of Levi. More in particular, straight from Aaron's lineage. Right?
God.
But not all those who were Levites were priests. But right here now, Levite was a problem and causing the segregation and causing the problem among us in the time of Christ. So Christ was chastising them with this parable. So the person who get up and asked the question was a lawyer, was a person skilled in the law, most likely a Levite. The person who he put in the parable and say a certain priest, the priest is a Levite. Who else? Continue.
Another one can. Verse 32. And likewise, a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side.
Right. So the priest who is a Levite passed by. He's supposed to have ministered directly to the Most High. The Levite, who is the entire tribe, who should be ministering to the Most High, passed by. So let me give you the lawyer, the priest, the Levites. All of them were Levites.
Right.
And they were of the southern kingdom. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 32, 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was. And when he saw him, he had compassion on him.
Right. So the Samaritan now is from the northern kingdom of Israel, because the kingdom split in the time of Jeroboam, King Solomon's son. 10.5 tribe went up, and 9.5 became the northern kingdom, which was known as Samaria. So the person from Samaria would be a Samaritan.
God.
The southern kingdom of Levites, Benjamin, and Judah. So Judah, Benjamin, and half of Levi were in the southern kingdom, right in the kingdom that was left at the time, because the northern kingdom was taken up by the Assyrian approximately 300 odd years or more before Christ came. So by then, they were living straight Gentile life, right? And the Levites and the Benjamites and the Judites were saying, them can't come back here. They can't be engrafted in the olive tree because they are living like Gentiles. They are Gentiles.
Yeah.
Them and the others who were taken away from the time of the Grecian captivity and were living in the Isle of the Greeks. They said they were Gentiles. All right. Next verse.
Another one can. Verse 34. And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him.
So this person who was mugged on the journey, the Levite priest passed him, the Levite passed him, but a Samaritan who was from Samaria, was a northern kingdom Israelite, who the Levite and the priest would have said they are Gentile. That was the man who have compassion on the person that was mugged. Take him up, bound up, tie up him wounds, set him on him own donkey or horse, and carry him to an inn. Continue.
Another one can. Verse
Samaritan
35. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee.
Right. So let me even go and leave money with the person at the inn, at the like the hospital, and say, take care of this man. He's a stranger to me. Here is some money. Take care of him. If you spend more than this when we come back again, me give you.
God.
You understand? But the person who were the guardians of the kingdom, the Levite and the priest, passed that man and did not help that man. The person who you say now do have no lot and part with God again, that's the man who helped this man that was mugged.
Right.
Right? Who is the Samaritan? The Samaritan was the one who offered the help. Continue.
Another one can. Verse 36. Which know of these 3 thinketh thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves.
Right. So of these 3, the priest, the Levite, and the Samaritan, which one you think was being a neighbor unto the one who fell among the thieves? Right? Which one of them you think was being a neighbor unto the one that was mugged? 37.
Another one can. Verse 37. And he said, He that showeth mercy on him. Then said YAHANNA unto him, Go and do thou likewise.
Go and do thou likewise. So the Most High, Christ was cutting the Levites with this, because they were the ones in the temple and they are not doing these things. They were not doing these things unto the people.
God.
Right? So this is why now when Levi come down here, come be Asians, still not doing the Most High's will, cut the chastisement too early from slavery. What did the Most High do? The Most High rain natural disasters on them. So they prevented the Most High from using the whip of slavery on them. So the Most High used the whip of natural disasters and pestilence, just like he said he would send on us. Pestilence. Right? When you read Deuteronomy 28, everyone in the truth is familiar with Deuteronomy 28. And they tell you about the pestilence and things he's going to send on you. That's what he used now. That's the whip that he used to scourge the Levites. So this earthquake that you see, which is not new to Haiti, the Most High sent it. Hurricane, knock them, the Most High sent it. Famine, all the things that the Most High will be using. Now, you see all them things when put on Haiti, what a hell and powder house when him return it around now and start put it on the other nations.
God.
Because that's what he said he's going to do. Right? And we saw in Europe now, you see wildfires and floods. Where one man in Germany said, I mean, you expect these things to happen in Asia and other places. You don't expect it to happen here.
Right.
What they're telling you, say, they're above being scourged.
Right.
And they have a next guest coming, because the Most High is going to put this scourging that 80s getting. You know who I want to get it fully? The French and the Americans. Because America is the one who is keeping them in poverty. Right? The Americans. Now, if the French were the ones down there, who from you would think that it is the French, those of the Jewish people who were in France. They were the ones who had that place under some amount of slavery, owning property and things. Because the Jewish people, those white Jewish people, it's slavery that got them their wealth. They got rich out of slavery without being in the forefront of slavery. Yeah, man. And they can't deny it. They know it's true. Right, we read 37, right?
Cancer.
All right, take me to Deuteronomy 28, 45 to 47.
Canada one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
All right, so these curses that are in the book of Deuteronomy in chapter 28 come upon all Israel, Asians included, till thou be destroyed. Trust me, it is very destroyed. Right. Because thou hearkenest not to the voice of you listen to the voice of God. You listen to his prophets, and you keep his commandments and his statutes, which he command thee. 46.
Canada one can, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
And upon thy seed for the next 40 years.
On Salakia, and upon thy seed forever.
And forever never ends, unless the Most High break that curse. So in other words, all these curses will follow us forever until Christ come. Because Christ is the one who will be breaking all chain. So this is the main chain that the Most High will be breaking from off his people. All right, let's see now where it says further up that he's going to send him using pestilence and so on. Let me see if we can find that further up. All right, even piles in 27, he said, "Must smite you with the botch of Egypt," which is the piles, hemorrhoids. Put that pile in a bind. Even that is a curse. All right, where is the pestilence now? Blah, 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 blah. Verse 21.
Canada one can. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Well, the Asians, they notice they always try to run away. So they run away, then everybody catch them and send them back. They come to Jamaica and send them back. They go to America send them back. It's a wonder that the suicide rate is higher than whatever it is. You can imagine you in a such scourging, and each time you come out, they put you right back in it. It's terrible, terrible situation. God. But all these is caused by, read 20, verse 20.
Canada one can, verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
So the tribe of Levi, just like everybody else, has forsaken the Most High. But why are they be punishing? They seem to be getting more punishment than the rest of us. One, they were they were separated from the other tribes in Israel. In other words, the Mosai said, 12 of you is mine. But yeah, I love Levi. Because on that day in the wilderness, the Levites stood up for me and killed all those who were against me. Right? So because of that, I give him my portion. When Christ came, who was also another Levite? John the Baptist. Christ's mother was a Levite. John the Baptist was supposed to start following Christ and lead his disciples to follow Christ. He didn't do that. The scribes and the Pharisees were supposed to acknowledge, because they know that Christ that this was the Christ that they Isaiah and Jeremiah and the prophets spoke of. But at the same time, they did not lead the people to follow Christ. Why? Money.
Right.
They were collecting that 10% from the people, plus the amount of bath houses that were around the temple. They were all controlled by the Levites, the priests. So, and you have to pay to use them. And if you remember when Christ came, what was happening in the temple? Money changing. The money changers and selling. Business was going on in the temple. Now there is no business that could be going on in the temple and the priests not benefiting.
God.
So they were benefiting from so many lucre. They were going after money. And they were living lavish life.
God.
So that was what they were in fear of losing when Christ came. Because when Christ raised Lazarus, and they said, but wait, people start follow Christ now. Then they must stop follow we. Let us go and kill back Lazarus.
God. God.
You want to, this is how devious these people were. You know?
It's luck, yeah.
Eh? You can imagine you're Lazarus and you hear something like that.
God.
And this was Levi. And Judah and Benjamin was following. When they pulled Christ to crucify, who caused it? The priesthood caused it.
God.
They were Levites.
God.
Right? So this is one of the reasons why if what they should have done is go through the slavery like the rest of us.
Right.
But they use the instrument of cruelty. They use their voodoo and trick the French white men. Got their freedom, and that freedom has done no good for them.
God.
The most I just find other ways to scourge them. Hunger, but they eat mud pie like some of the Hamites, because they were loving the Hamites too. Natural disasters. Sick is a wonder they think they're not so heavy in Haiti. COVID. Coronavirus is not so heavy in Haiti.
Probably mercy. It's luck, yeah.
Right?
God.
So, coronavirus. You notice coronavirus, the madman on the street and thing, corona no trouble ever.
It's luck, yeah.
Yeah. Corona no trouble anyway. You know, see no madman and they no wear mask.
God.
They interact with people because they come up in your face and beg your money now. And you tell them, move for some money. I don't have no money. And you say, all right, see your money and you pass again. So the virus can pass to them too. But none of them not dying. So maybe it's because it is so poor, the virus not bother them so much. At the most, sorry for them and give them a ease from it. We don't know. God. But they are being scourged right now by an earthquake. Something which, for some reason, their country get more earthquake than everybody. Destructive earthquake. You have many places which the earth trembles more often, but it's not that destructive where it destroy the place. Here to get another earthquake. They get a severe one a couple of years ago. I remember one hurricane season, you know, Haiti was hit by 4 category 1. Category, what the highest category? 5. 4 category 5 hurricane. 4 category 5 hurricane hit them in one season. I remember one of the hurricane was coming down as category 3. By the time it reached 8, it rise to 5. And it hit them. And it dropped back down to 4 and 3 and go on its way.
God.
They get hit by so many hurricanes that they don't even remember the name. We can tell you, the last one hit us was what? Dean. And 2 years before that was, what name again? Dean or Ivan. One was Ivan and one was Dean. Yeah. And before that was Gilbert. Right. Right in the 80s. Well, 80 can't name them all to you like that. They get hit by so many hurricanes. They don't even remember the names. This is how the Most High scourges you.
God.
But let's go to Romans 11, 23 to 27.
Another one gun. Another one gun. This is the book of Romans chapter 11 and verse 23. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For God is able to graft them in also.
Right. If they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. So the Asians are also to be grafted in. But I'm holding on to voodoo and to other kind of religions and things that is preventing them from looking. Each time they get scourged by these things, they're supposed to look and know that it's God doing it, you know. Even the Indians, the Elamites, the other day, they threw away the idols when the Delta variant mashed them up just this year. They just threw away the idols and say, "You're worthless idols. You couldn't stop this." But the Asians seem to be holding on to theirs. But they are also to be grafted in. If they abide not still in unbelief. Continue.
Another one can, verse 24. For if they were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree?
So 80 is a part of that which they're talking about, the natural olive tree. The natural olive tree you're talking about was really the southern kingdom. They were the ones who were still in the land at the time when Christ came and the New Testament was being written. So this grafted in was for the northern kingdom, the 9.5 tribe who was out there in the world among other nations.
Where
the Most High is saying, if they who out there, the northern kingdom, is to be grafted in, how much so these of the southern kingdom who were also scattered abroad, who was there in the land, how much so, like Paul, who he was a Jew, circumcised on the 8th day, but there were others who were leading, who was not born in Jerusalem, who Peter didn't want to sit with, and the others. They said, you know, we can't sit with you if you're not a Jew. Right, so they got pompous. But those they were talking about, they were Israelite. So here Paul is saying, if this northern kingdom is to be grafted in, because Christ gave the parable of the prodigal son. who was the northern kingdom coming back home. How much so those of the southern kingdom who is a part of the natural tree, they be grafted in also.
God.
25.
Another one, verse 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in.
So, maybe it's the Most High that caused it. That we be blind until the days, the fullness of the Gentile, that take what? Almost 2,000 years,
Right.
Yeah. And it's pure blindness and we going astray, veering off course at all times. But here Paul understood what was going on. And him said, blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be coming. Pity did Paul know that this was going to happen for 1,000 odd years after him. 26.
Another one, verse 26. And so is Salakia, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
All right. So why he said all Israel shall be saved? He was letting the southern kingdom know that salvation is not just for you.
Right.
For those Israelites who are scattered abroad as well. And don't bother think it's you alone who's going to be saved. It's all Israel. All 12 tribes. So all tribes going on that salvation chariot, or none will be going.
God.
All Israel shall be saved. 27 and last.
Another one, verse 27. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins.
Right. So who is that deliverer who was to come out of Zion? Out of Zion, that was Christ.
God.
Right. So that new covenant he will be making, I can't find that in other scriptures. But here Paul was making those in Jerusalem and those who were being stiff-necked. And guess what? Today nobody can speak like that again.
Right.
Because the whole of we know they live in Gentile life. And the whole of we out there being in need of being engrafted back into the olive branch, right? All 12 tribes are out. Because when the 2.5 that was in the land being pompous, believing that they are better than the others who are out there. Little did they know that, but Christ did tell them that even now the axe is laid at the root. And they did not understand that. Because Christ he wanted to get cut down, like him said, so that he can get rid of them bastard Levites who blocking the entrance to salvation from the people. That was what was happening. Right? And Christ spoke in parables unto his people. I said, yeah, right. So when you see them people that come, you just run down the mountain. They're going to Africa. Go hide amongst them people there. Because any man stand up to fight when the Romans come, they are going to be killed or taken into slavery.
God.
That's exactly what happened. And that's how we end up calling ourselves Africans, because we flee to the mountains, hide among the Africans. We went into the kingdoms that were in existence at the time. The Axumite kingdom was one. We went in there and hide them Ketra and Seli. That is the Ethiopian kingdom, right? The kingdom of Axum, they were slave traders. They were traders. And slaves were the main thing that was being traded in that century or that time when slaves, when Rome put an end to Jerusalem, put an end to our kingdom. all the way down. They traded slaves with the Arabs, and they traded slaves with the European back in the time of the Renaissance under the banner. That time Axum was already collapsed, but the rise now was Ethiopia. And that same lineage where Selassie come from, that stinking Amite, I don't know business what you all want to say, is not your people. The Africans sold you into slavery. And you can't deny that. They don't like you.
God. Salakia, sir.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that his wife is his cousin, you know what I mean, Selassie.
Yeah, that's royalty. That's a royalty behavior, you know.
Okay, God.
You married a cousin. You are allowed to marry your cousin to by law, your first cousin or second cousin, by your law, under the Most High. But you can't marry your sister.
God.
And your mother and your auntie.
God.
From neither your mother nor your father's side. But they are cousins which you can marry. The cousins from your mother's side, you can marry them.
God.
From your father's side, you have to wait till it water down. Because what our laws is preventing is to have bastards and paraplegics among you, which when you impregnate women that are too closely related to you, it causes autism and all them things. You understand?
God.
And the Most High promised us that once we keep his laws, he will keep all these things away from us. So it's in the law. But him, not care who we married, is not our people.
God.
And for centuries, when he was able to use his money and sponsor education in Ethiopia, money where they make from slavery. In 1942, them abolished them slave trade.
God.
And they weren't enslaving their people. Right? Just like we read in Luke, where Christ says, it was again, Luke what? In Matthew 17 and 24, where it said, then the people are free, but then the children are free. Who does the king take tribute from?
Matthew 17 and 25.
That was Matthew, right? So Ethiopia, that lineage of kings, who were they enslaving? Their own people? No, the kingdom would have fell long before the time when it fell.
God.
Right? But they were enslaving and selling into slavery other people. And we know that other people was us, because our people are in every country on the face of the earth. Right? Every single country you find Israelites here, because the Most High says that's one of the way he would punish us. All right. Give me Revelation 7 now.
Canada one gun.
Read 1 to 4.
Canada one gun. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed and
1 to 4. Start at 1, down to 4.
Okay, Salakia. Verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
Right. So this was the wind of destruction that the angels was holding back. So the earth will not be destroyed until a certain time. Continue.
Canada one can, verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to the earth and the sea. Canada one can, verse 3, saying, Earth, not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead.
Right. Earth, don't destroy this earth nor the sea until we have sealed those people who are God's servants, those Israelites in their foreheads. And how you get that sealing? You in class now learning the laws of the Most High. That is the sealing. And it's going to be proven. Go down.
Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
All the tribes of everybody in this world.
144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
144,000 Christians.
Of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
This book is for the children of Israel, from Genesis to Revelation. Say what you want to say with your other nation loving mouth.
God.
You can't beat what is in the Bible. You can't hate me. You don't like Abada one. You don't like Officer Kayad one. You don't like Commanding General YAHANNA. Hate who you want to hate in the I.S.U.P.K. But it's not really we you hate.
Right.
It's God you hate. How we know that? Because if we start to say what you believe in, you're going to love us.
Right. You understand.
Right? But as long as we are saying what the Bible says, you don't like us. So it's not we you hate.
God.
You hate the Most High.
Right.
You have a perpetual hate for the Most High. That's why you don't want to hear what we are saying from the Bible. Right? You want to believe that every nation is going into your kingdom. You take God for idiot. You in this world that is run by the white man, and nobody showing you love.
Right.
So God is going to give you a kingdom with all of them in there, run by them, and expect them to show you love.
God.
Obviously, you don't love yourself.
Right.
So for that, you're going to be trusted with the sword, just like how the Levite and Moses has said, who is on the Lord's side.
God.
Right?
God.
All right. So 12 tribes were the ones who were sealed. And it's right here in Revelation. And God don't make mistake. So don't talk like, no, man, it's not 144,000 alone, man. A whole lot of people want that, man. You wish. Drop down to 7.
Got another one. Can. Verse 7. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000.
All right. So what we're actually picking out here is that the Levites or the Asians will also be sealed, just like any other tribe of Israel. So Judites living lavish lives in America, Haiti living a life of Asians living a life of poverty, who are the Levites, but none will be saved more than the other.
God.
You Benjamites here in Jamaica and the other West Indian islands and living lavish lives abroad and wherever will not be saved any more of you than those Obia working Levites.
God.
Right?
God.
Sealing, meaning those who will be sealed to rule with Christ. Equal amount in all the tribes.
God.
So the Asians all they want. Yeah, they're going to be on that ship. And guess what? The longer you take to take this gospel to them, is the longer we're going to spend down here.
God.
So we got to get the work in. Questions?
Silakia, sir. You did mention a scripture. I think it was the new covenant, Jeremiah 31 and 31.
Yeah, I found it.
Come, sir. Behold, the day cometh, saith the Lord, that I will.
Hold on.
Silakia.
Jeremiah 1?
31 and 31 and to 33. Another one can. Behold, the day come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So this is what the Christians use, and say, God changed it again when they come to the New Testament. That covenant will be making with everybody, the Gentiles.
Right.
And they knew very well that the Gentiles were talking about, is of the Israelites who were not born in Jerusalem,
God.
You know, I know. Yeah. But preaching what we preaching won't bring in any money. That won't get them flying into jets.
Right.
Yeah. So they preach prosperity gospel and the gospel that you want to hear. The gospel that will take the money out your pocket.
God.
All right. 32 says what?
Another one can. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord.
Yeah.
Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people.
So, when the Mosai, just like how Moses killed out a couple thousand of those who were not on the Lord's side, it's the same thing going to happen this time.
God.
That's why I'm saying going to take the third, because 2/3 of you not going to be on his side. 2/3 of you don't like God. 2/3 of you love the white man and love the African and love everybody else except your own people.
God.
Yeah, when the Asians then come here and pack them up and send them back on boat. But if you see if some white man in come here in the coronavirus time, everybody they can stay at hotel, man, because yeah, they're running for America. They have the money, man. They can stay. Yeah, man. Why you never send them back in the corona at that time? You should send them back, man. You send back the Asians who are your brothers.
God.
Yeah, because you don't know who is your neighbor. You don't love your people and you don't love God. You hate God, you hate the people, and you love everybody else. So 2/3 are you going to feel the sword for just for that. Just for that. Because you have to first love your neighbor and love God to make it in the kingdom. We read it. The very band liar stood up in the congregation, challenging Christ, tempting Christ. And out of him very mouth, him read exactly what him need to do to be saved. Love God and love your neighbor.
God.
Show love to your neighbor, show love to God. Come out of idolatry. Stop sending back the Asians when they come out here for refuge, for whatever kind of refuge. They are CARICOM people. And to show you that we are not African. 80, I don't remember the year, but 80 had left CARICOM. Said they don't like how they are being treated. And they went and joined the African Union. African Union kicked them out in a short period of time. So you are not one of us. As a matter of fact, they didn't get to join it. They became something like an observer or something like that. So the Africans show them that you are not our people. You are not like, you are not one of us.
God.
They have to come back in 80 in CARICOM. Right?
God.
So, any other question?
Last.
All right, with that, we pass the class to Priest and Officer Kayadwan.
All right, clap it up. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Salakia, we are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command in General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months They are here to Slovakia. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves at the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you find this in Numbers 18 and 21. And Malachi 3, verse 8 to 10 means 10 in the Hebrew and is pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, that is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet. This is the first day of the 7th month. You know what I mean? This is on the 6th of September. You can find this in Leviticus 23, verse 24 to 25. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check the social youth and so on I.S.U.P.K event materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. The accordion, which means to stand. I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew and then in English. Abanawa.
Abanawa. Abashamaya. Kodash.
Aya.
Aya. Samka.
Awa.
Hawa. Malakwatka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Zaka.
Matazaka.
Aya.
Aya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Kawa. Aya.
Aya.
Washamaya.
Washamaya.
Ananawa.
Natananawa.
Nakam.
Nakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Kawam.
Kawam.
Wasalaklanawa.
Wasalaklanawa.
Ababwatnawa.
Kawabwatnawa.
Kasalatnawa.
Kasalatnawa.
Kababwatyanawa.
Kawabwatyanawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabayanawa.
Tabayanawa.
Wanasayawan.
Wanasayawan.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashainawa.
Awashainawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Right.
Right.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Alakwat.
Alakwat.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
Slakia. La Ayawalamya.
La Ayawalamya.
Amen.
Amen. In English, our Father which art in heaven.
Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
We forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
Lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever so be. All right. Prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
Send evils and curses and punishment
to the heathen.
Edens
that speak against us,
that's against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the
princes,
the
priests,
priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school,
the Israelite brothers,
send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the Edens, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel,
that refuse to give to the school,
that refuse to give to the school,
force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary,
force their riches to enter thy sanctuary,
send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
send evils and curses and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites and the nations,
to the Edomites and the nations,
and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, the spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh, I thank you always, so be. In the name of
this is a prayer for the Hebrew. Our Shami Awashai. Baba Kwasha.
Nathan Lanawa. Akak.
Larapa. Kalmakala. Kalmadawa. Akak. Lata'a. Amatazaraya. Akak. La Akwayam. Amatayam. Akak,
Akak,
Irakawa,
Ilakawa,
Atamala,
Atamala,
Agarashan,
Lagarashan,
Washam Yawashai,
Washam Yawashai,
Tuwada Aman.
Aman. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
Power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. This is the prayer for the blessings in Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Waha.
Wayatsapariam.
Wayatsapariam.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan. Agan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The generals.
The generals.
Captains.
The captains.
Officers.
The officers.
Troopers.
The troopers.
Young men and the sisters.
The young men and the sisters.
Ba'asham Yahushai.
Ba'asham Yahushai.
Aman. Tuwada Aman.
Tuwada Aman. What we just said in English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh, bless us and Israel and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahweh. Thank you so much.
Which means we're going to give 130 to school here. Men of Israel, I Madium Shabbat, I Madium Barak, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Barakatah.
Yadamata, we're going to give 130 to salute to the sisters, men of Israel, turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, I Madium Shabbat, I Madium Barak, Yahweh Shamar
Alatan Ba'asham Yahushai.
Yahweh Shamar Alatan Ba'asham Yahushai.
Yadamata, class dismissed.
In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said He would send plagues upon the earth before He frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom.
Alright, remember to like the video, you know what I mean? Subscribe, you know what I mean? And share. And with that, shalom.